Hello， 大家好，欢迎大家今天如期参加2022年度ECHEMI外贸商学院的系列课程。我是今天活动的主持人 Claire。ECHEMI.com 作为全球领先的数字化跨境化工 B2B 平台，正在为全球1万多家供应商和7万多家买家提供服务。我们为化学品企业提供集资讯、获客、交易、服务于一体的 VIP 套餐产品，包括线上营销渠道的建立、线上线下推广服务、在线交易服务等，囊括了化工行业出口业务的各个开发环节，并有针对性地为每一个环节提供强有力的支持，旨在为化学品企业提供更加深入的化工营销解决方案，助力供应商企业迅速开拓海外市场，建立稳定海外渠道，全面提升海外销售业绩。ECHEMI.com 为海外买家提供涂料、机器化工、食品与营养、医药等4大领域500多个原材料的价格和市场分析、产品应用解决方案及客户购买服务、供应商认证服务，协助买家有效解决购买产品中所遇到的问题。ECHEMI一直为全球买家和供应商长期深度合作，开通更多渠道，携手共同开拓数字化赋能的化工交易市场，加速完善化工品数字化生态圈，为客户提供更好的产品和服务。在未来，我们也期待与广大客户及合作伙伴共同推动化工产业的智能化、数字化的升级，达成共生共赢。在本场直播正式开始前，我们将就上一场孟加拉医药直播中观众未解答的问题进行一些回复。首先呢，第一个问题，有一位观众在询问非 GMP 工厂是否可以出运。关于这个问题的答案，这个回答是肯定的。对于某些辅料是需要 GMP 的，但比例仅为1%。然而孟加拉国客户采购 API 和大多数辅料都是这个强制需要 GMP 的。第二个问题是，有问孟加拉有做大分子生物药吗？是否从中国进口原液？这个也是肯定的回答。目前是有4到5家公司在做大分子生物制药，2到3家公司从中国进口，然后其余是来自欧洲。未来也会有更多的公司会进入这个项目，来自中国的采购也会增加。然后最后一个问题是，有一位观众问，他们的公司是专门做替尼类的，在孟加拉的需求大吗？替尼类产品在孟加拉的医药市场需求是很大的。就是如您所知，孟加拉制药公司生产抗癌药，几乎是有10到12家公司使用替尼分子，所以它现在是有巨大的需求和未来的空间的。以上就是上一场我们的未解答问题。那么今天的课程，我们是有幸邀请到了ECHEMI医药事业部巴基斯坦国家经理 Mr. Farham，为大家带来2022年ECHEMI外贸商学院全球市场在线洞察的第2场分享。Farham 将在今天下午的直播课程中，就巴基斯坦医药市场现状、趋势，及一些热门产品等内容进行详细的讲解。同时，欢迎大家持续关注ECHEMI的官方微信及视频号，了解更多全球化工资讯与服务。你也可以拨打400-6601-110与我们的国内客户经理联系，了解更多关于本次课程的干货知识。另外，欢迎大家在本次直播的互动区进行分享与互动，随时提出关于本次课程或者您所关心的问题。演讲嘉宾将在演讲结束后进行问答环节，就大家提问进行解答。欢迎大家在分享过程中评论区随时提出自己的疑问。那么现在我们来邀请我们的演讲嘉宾 Mr. Farham 带来今天的课程分享。So, hi Farham.Welcome Farham to sharing your document and start your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, Ni hao. My name is Farhan Khan. I am the country director, ECHEMI Pakistan. First of all, I would like to tell you something about me. Uh, I have a total of 15 years experience in Pakistan pharmaceutical industry. Before joining ECHEMI, I was associated with two major pharmaceutical companies of Pakistan. Number one, Getz Pharma. I started off my career from Getz Pharma, and I worked there for around 8 years. Then I moved to Mactor International Pharma, which is another big company of Pakistan, and there I served around 7 years. By qualification, I'm a pharmacist, and I've also completed my MBA in marketing. In 2021, I joined.
好的，目前 Farham 先生好像那边的网络有一些问题，大家稍等一下。他那边卡了，他那边会议室里边，他那边就卡了。那个小圈圈，要不然才让我记一下场。
Hello.
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 We can hear you, Farham. We can hear you,
Hello.
Farham.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, so sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Can you just let me see? Okay, okay.
Okay.
Let me
okay.
just share the screen, okay? Sorry. Okay, so now let's move towards the presentation part. First of all, I will brief you little about Pakistan. Pakistan is a population of around 230 million people, which is growing by 2%. Our majority of the population lives in rural areas, which is 63%, and rest of the 37% lives in major cities. The per capita income of Pakistan is $1,357, and the purchasing parity is $5,839. Okay, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, just continue. We can hear
Okay.
you very clearly.
Okay. So if we talk about Pakistan pharma industry, so there are around 800 local manufacturing companies and 25 multinational pharmas in Pakistan. The market share of 89.7% is contributed by top 50 pharmaceutical companies of Pakistan. In terms of dollar, the market is $3.7 billion. And every year, in the last 1 year, 395 new products launched in Pakistan. Out of that, 379 are from national companies and 19 are from multinational companies. presentation is little hang here, sorry. Okay. Now, if we talk about, the therapeutic segment wise, so these are the key therapeutic segments: alimentary, metabolism, which contributes around 94 billion. Systemic anti-infectives is number 2. Nervous system is number 3. Cardiovascular system is number 4. Respiratory is number 5. Musculoskeletal system is number 6, and so on. So out of 16 therapeutic classes, top 10 captures almost 93 of market share, and top 5 classes have around 69%. So you can see that these 5 therapeutic segments have the biggest market share in Pakistan. Okay, now as I already told you about me, I'll move in the next slide. Okay, so if we talk about the overall retail pharmaceutical business of Pakistan, which is reported by a biggest journal named IMS. So as per the IMS, if we talk about in Pakistani rupees, so market is around 615 billion rupees. In term of US dollar, the market is $3.77 billion, which is growing by 22.54%. Now we will talk about the top corporates of Pakistan. Here in this slide, you can see the all top major companies of Pakistan, their rankings and their contribution to this pharmaceutical industry. So around 68 corporates are above 1 billion with 94% market share in Pakistan pharmaceutical industry. If we talk about number 1, corporates with 30 billion above value. When I say 30 billion, it means Pakistani rupees. So they contribute around 183 billion of the total market, and their market share is 30%. Their growth is 19%. And out of that, those companies, 2 are multinationals and 3 are national companies. Then we come to number 2, corporates with 10 billion and above. They contribute around 215 billion. Their market share is 35%. They are growing by 23%. And out of that, MNCs are 4 and national are 10. Then we come to number 3, corporates with 5 billion and above. Their value is 98 billion. Market share is 16%. Growth is 21%. And out of those, 10 are nationals and 4 are multinationals. Here we can see very easily that national companies are having a major market share. Corporates with 1 billion, and there are so many companies in that, and these all comes up with 68 corporates of Pakistan. So we can see if any company target these 68 corporations in Pakistan, so they can make a good business. Taron, I would like to request you to please.
OK， 这个地方呢，给大家稍微翻译一下，因为这个地方主要是我们的。
Shall we move forward？
能听到吗 ？Yeah, I'll move forward。这个地方呢，给大家稍微解释一下，因为这些就是我们的目标客户了那主要是分为了4个梯队，大家可以看到68家超过1亿市值的企业，1亿销售额的企业占到了巴基斯坦医药市场94%的份额那么第一梯队呢，就是我们300亿的梯队当然这个单位是巴基斯坦卢比。超过300亿的公司呢 ，MAC 代表的是跨国公司你可以看到有 GSK 和 Abbott 雅培。那 NAT 指的就是国内的公司，一共是3家大家可能如果做过巴基斯坦市场的话，非常熟悉的 GAT、SEMI 还有 SILE那第2梯队呢，就是我们的100亿PK2 的梯队。那这里面主要是有4家跨国企业有10家的国内企业，大家也可以重点看一下有一些是分布在卡拉奇，有一些是在拉合尔的地区那第3、第4呢，就是50亿俱乐部以及10亿俱乐部的公司那这些客户呢占据了94%的市场份额，也就是所说的这68家客户就是我们的目标客户了。那再更精准一点去掉了其他的跨国公司以外，那剩下的一共是44家客户就是我们的目标客户了大家可以通过这个表去获得你的目标客户到底在哪里。I just finished it, Mr. Farhan. Please move on.
Thank you. Now we can see that if you talk about products, so 106 products are above 1 billion with 34% market share in this industry. So total number 8 products in Pakistan which are above 4 billion, 9 products which are above 3 billion, 16 products which are above 2 billion, and 77 products are above 1 billion. So these are the potential products of this market, and these actually are running the whole market show. So if you talk about above 4 billion products, so their value is 44 billion, and their market share is 7%, and they're growing by 16%. Then if we talk about 3 billion club, then their value is 30 billion, market share is 5%, and they're growing by 18%. And for 2 billion products, their value is 38 billion, their market share is 6%, and they're growing by 24%. And if you talk about products which exceeds 1 billion mark, so their value is 102 billion, market share is 17%, and growth rate is 18%. Okay, so I already mentioned this, that 395 new products launched in last 12 months, and you can see the difference that 376 of those are launched by national companies and 19 of those are launched by MNCs, because these are innovator products, and we all understand that multinationals launch very few products and national companies actually copy them and make their Me Too's. And the value contribution is 4.17% in last 12 months, which is 0.67% of the market share. Darren, can I move?
这个地方我也稍微的翻译一下。这主要是过去12个月中，过去12个月内推出的新产品的份额啊，大家可以看到，一共有395个新的制剂产品被推出了，那有376个是来自于国内公司推出的，只有19个是由国际的公司推出的啊，那一共是有40亿的销售额，大家也可以看到，当然这是以 PKR 作为的这个结算，也就是巴基斯坦卢比作为的货币单位，也可以指出的是，巴基斯坦市场作为一个非法为市场，它的新药是非常非常活跃的。I just finished. Please move on.
Okay. So if we talk about the retail pharmaceutical business, which has reached around 615 billion and growing by 24%. So if you look at the 5 years trend, that from in 2017, March 2017, the market value was 344 billion, which has now crossed 615 billion, and the growth rate is around 22.4%. Even in cumulative aggregate growth rate CAGR, the growth rate is 15.62%. And if you break it from national and multinationals, so you can see the difference that multinationals are almost double from 235 billion to 440 billion, and the multinational companies are 109 billion to 175 billion. So their growth rate is not better than the national companies. National companies growth rate is 26.10%. However, multinational companies growth rate is 14.43%. Darren?
这个部分呢，主要是讲的巴基斯坦市场医药业务规模以及增长率的一个情况这里我们也做了翻译，大家可以直接来看 PPT。NAT 是指的本土企业 ，MNC 指的是跨国企业这是他们主要的一个表现在2021的第4季度的表现，然后大家可以看一下数据即可。You can move on, sir.
Okay, thank you. So this is the same analysis in terms of US dollar, that from $3.2 billion to $3.7 billion is a market increase, and national companies from 2.23 billion to 2.7 billion, and multinationals are from 1 billion to 1.076 billion. So almost the same figure for the multinationals, a little increase in that. Move on. Let's move.
Yeah, I think you can move on.
Okay, thank you. And this is another macro analysis of last 5 years, which is on MAT basis. Again, The total pharma market has three, it's actually units based. The last one was value based. This is a unit growth based slides, that from 2.6 billion to 3.3 billion is a unit growth, in last 5 years. So it is all about the trend of the unit and value growth. It's a mix of both. We discussed this in the last slide, but it's a mix of all in this slide. So you can see that trend in this slide as well. Same slide, same things that we discussed earlier. Okay, so if we talk about the last quarter, from the last quarter, the value has slowed down, but cumulatively it's better. But if we talk about from the last quarter, the value has been down due to many reasons. I will tell you one of the reason in my later slides. This is also the same. Then I'll move here. So all top 10 nationals and 5 MNCs are growing with double digits. So we can see that the trend is very good. That the companies are growing with the double digit number. Here, like GSK growth rate is 9.7, Abbott is 19%, GSK Consumer is 26%, Sanofi 10%, Pfizer 7%, Nestle 33%, Novartis is growing by minus because Novartis is going to be merged with some other companies very soon. Bayer is 9.7%, Novo Nordisk 15%. They are good in diabetic portfolio. Eli Lilly same 2.72%. If you talk about national companies, so Gates number 1, then Sami, Searle, Martin Dow, Hilton, HiQ, Bosch, OBS, High Noon, and Atco. So these are the top 10 national companies of Pakistan. And in the right side, you can see their growth rates are almost in double digit. So if we talk about the latest new launches in Pakistan, so this is the last 12 months new product launches status. Out of that, some are new products and few are existing old products, but recently launched by some other companies, and they grab the good market share. Like influenza vaccine, it's a new product. It was a highly demanding product, and it came into the market, and it accomplished 380 million PKR business in Pakistan. Then pregabalin, it's an old product, but HiQ is very aggressive company. They launched this product and make it 125.4 million. Then Gates come with you can say it's a multivitamin, and it's reaches 117 million. Then Cefixime, another old product, but it also gets some good share for Abbott. Vonoprazan is a new salt, and it was a very new salt for this market, and it grabbed a good market share, and almost every big company tried to launch this product, and out of that, Gates, Hilton Pharma, and Horizon Pharma, they got good market share. Then Meropenem, another old product, but it has a huge potential in this market, and mainly the API comes from China as well. Azotamib plus rosuvastatin, Pyroxicam, beta-cyclodextrin. So these are top 10 products launched in last 12 months in IMS. Okay, if we talk about the top pharma molecules in Pakistan, so this is the list of that. So we picked up 19 products because number 1 is actually the infant milk, so that does not come into this category, so we exclude that, and we kept rest of the 19 products which are basically belongs to pharma side. Ceftriaxone number 1, then Cefixime, then paracetamol, omeprazole, amoxicillin plus clavulanic acid, esomeprazole, ciprofloxacin, diclofenac, metformin, azithromycin, and in the right side you can see the values in dollar as well. $135 million is Ceftriaxone, Cefixime is $92.4 million, paracetamol is $76.6 million, and this is all about retail market. Please remember, in this market, the institutional business market is not covered, the export business is not covered because the data is not there, not easy to find for those things, but you can see that they have the potential in export as well as institution business. So the value is much bigger than this which is mentioned here. Esomeprazole $58 million, ciprofloxacin $53.1 million, diclofenac is $51 million, metformin is $48 million, azithromycin is $44 million. Then you can say human insulin is $37.4 million, mecobalamin is $36 million, amlodipine $33 million, and it's the multivitamin $29 million, and so on. So I would request Tyrone to please brief this slide to you all.
好的，那到了这一部分呢，主要是大家所关心的产品部分了。其实上一页 PPT 如果大家有看到的话，今年发布的新产品，去年发布的新产品中排名前10的产品，主要第一是 Abbott 雅培的一个疫苗，那当然这个是新冠所影响的。那其他的产品大家可以看到有普罗巴林，然后维 C 的一个复合药剂，还有头孢克沃，还有一个新药沃诺拉赞，你可以看到它在前10中占了有3个席位。那同时还有美罗培南以及伊泽替米贝和瑞舒华他汀的一个复配药，还有一个比罗西康。那这10个就是我们在去年2021年的第4季度巴基斯坦当地所卖的最多的产品。那到了这个榜单的话，这其实是在2021年第4季度进口的最多的药。大家可以看到有头孢系列的头孢曲松、头孢克沃，同时还有普热西痛这种大宗药物。还有奥美拉唑、艾索美拉唑这2个药可能主要来自于印度但是前3个药主要都是来自于中国的同时还有第5名的阿莫西林、克拉维酸，这个也主要是来自于中国那环丙沙星、双氯芬酸，还有2甲双胍西他列汀的复配，还有阿奇霉素，这些也都是来自于中国那到了下一份榜单11到19的话这些药物也主要是以解热镇痛类药物还有心血管类药物以及抗糖类的人胰岛素药物为主那这些药物其实主要也是来自于中国大家可以看一下这份榜单，从而找到自己的目标性产品那总的来说一些抗生素一些解热镇痛类药物，还有一些大宗的包括降糖类药物，还有胃肠类药物都是主要从中国来进口。那这也就是大家机会产品、热点产品同领域下，大家可以看一下自己的产品有没有同领域下的其他产品那这也可能会成为巴基斯坦市场的一个热点产品之一。Okay, so please move on, sir.
Slide 2.
I just finished this page.
Okay.
You can just move on.
Thank you. Okay, so as I told you that what I shared you earlier is not actually the whole market share. The data I shared with you is actually divided into like this: that 4% of the sale has come from hospital vicinity. So market share of different channels of Pakistan pharmaceutical industry. You can see that private hospital sales 7%, direct to doctors 10%, 60% is retail pharmacies, chain pharmacies is 3%, e-pharmacy is the new concept here, which is 0.3%, and 17% is from wholesale. So this is the data that IQVIA collect every year. And apart from that, there are institution data, which is the direct purchases from hospitals. Sometimes does not appear in that, and export data is also not there. Okay, so I will just give you some information about the how the product when the product is registered in Pakistan, what are the type of products and how is their pricing model. So actually, pharmaceutical drugs prices are regulated and controlled by Drug Regulatory Authority of Pakistan. They fix the prices of the products and they benchmark the prices of Bangladesh and India first, if the product is available in this region, and if the product is not available in this region, then they look the pricing in Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, these countries. If the product is not available in even that region, then they look at the prices of Central Europe and other countries, then US FDA, Australia, Japan, Korea. So they start giving the prices after looking the market price of the same product in different territories of the world. But first of all, they benchmark the prices of the neighboring countries, which are India and Bangladesh. So that the prices are regulated in Pakistan for the drugs. As far as nutraceuticals and food supplements prices, these are not regulated, not controlled by DRAP. They will control it in future because this is the new mechanism for them. They are developing this. As far as medical devices prices, they are also not non-regulated in Pakistan, not controlled by DRAP. They are trying to do so for a long time, but since the number of products in medical devices are so long, the list is so big, so they are not controlling that. Although they are our medical devices rule, you have to import the product as per the medical devices rule. Now you cannot import any item without that. This is the very important slides. Two slides I'm going to share with you, because this is the key when any company would like to enter in Pakistan market. So they should know about some regulatory framework and the product registration process, documentation requirements, and the level of understanding from DRAP, which is Drug Regulatory Authority of Pakistan. Earlier in Pakistan, they have different type of forms like Form 5, Form 5A, Form 5D, 5E. So there are so many forms, to product registration. Like Form 5 for those products which are currently available in the market and company apply for renewal. Form 5 D is for new products. Form 5A for imported products, just like that. But recently, few years back, almost 1.5 years back, DRAP has introduced a single form which is called Form 5F, and they refer that form as CTD dossier form. This is actually a standard CTD dossier format form, which is going on in all regions like Vietnam, Philippines, India, China, anywhere. So they are following this form, which has actually make things quite stringent for all the manufacturers or the API manufacturers or anyone who is dealing with the drugs. So what they have actually mentioned in that the product must be approved by any SRA country. For example, if any product which is not available or launched by Japan, USA, Canada, Health Canada, FDA, Australia, regulatory authorities, then that product won't be considered for registration in Pakistan. Product price for approval to be first checked in neighboring countries. I already mentioned you in my last slide. API must be imported from GMP approved factories. And now API DMF is mandatory. For example, if any company who does not have API DMF ready or a plan to get it ready, so this means that the manufacturers won't be approved in Pakistan, because now every new product inspections carried out in the manufacturer's facility. For example, a company file a dossier in DRAP, then the registration time will come, DRAP will inspect the facility, the documentation, everything. And if they find any anomaly or discrepancy in that, they won't give the product registration. So now the challenge for API manufacturers is getting bigger. Dossiers will only be submitted after completion of all relevant product details. As per the new format, once you have the stability studies, you have DMF, you have impurities, everything. If you have done with the product as per the CTD dossier, only then your dossier will be considered for registration. Import of finished products required facility inspection. For example, if any product, any company would like to offer a finished product for Pakistan market, so they should know that if their manufacturing facility has not been accredited or approved by US FDA, WHO, EMEA, UK and Japan, then they have to follow the facility inspection, which is itself a lengthy process in current circumstances where COVID is prevailing. Number 6, DRAP works under Health Ministry. Like earlier, the DRAP was an independent body, but now it works under Ministry of Health. So every decision come from DRAP actually is a decision of Health Ministry. Other insights are, you can say that I already mentioned about the pharmaceutical units. 90% of them are, one thing very important, that the manufacturing hub for pharmaceutical, companies is Karachi, because all the major multinationals, national companies are based in Karachi. You can say out of 10 companies, only one is in other part of the country, but mainly 90% are in Karachi. So Karachi is the financial hub and the center of pharmaceutical manufacturers in Pakistan. Pakistan has less than 10 API manufacturing facilities. Even those 10 API manufacturers are only N-1. They cannot work further on. Like for example, if any intermediate company supply material, so they have to make only one change in that and make a finished product. So even those 10 API manufacturing facilities are not research based or tech transfer level facilities. They are working on old generics which have been selling in all over the world for a long time, like cephalosporins, penicillins, paracetamol, azithromycin. they have no capability of development of any new API in their facility. For development of any new product, they need a technology transfer. Okay, so and for that they also should know that the value of that product as well. So technology transfer has its own cost, so they usually do not into this business right now. As far as bank payments are concerned, State Bank of Pakistan issue the TT advance payment only for US dollar less than 10,000. If anything which comes above $10,000, then you have to go with the LC or another payment method. One information is that recently US dollar has been inflated a lot in last 2 months time, and last week it crossed 200 mark, and it is managing at that mark currently. You all know that Pakistan is another largest population country, and we rank 6th in that. And I already mentioned in the first slide that we have 230 million population. In Pakistan, what companies' preference is, they would like to purchase API from China due to price advantage, friendly relationship, and FTA benefits. But the problem is that unfortunately 65% of the API recently comes from India, and companies would like to shift from Indian sources to Chinese sources, and there are a number of products that they shared with us, with many companies, to make it happen. Thank you very much. Tyrone, if you would like to brief about insights, you can, please.
Yeah, I think turn back to regulatory front first. Yeah, 来说一下这个部分，这个主要是一个法律监管的问题。大家可以看到，一共是6点。那这6点主要是来自于DRAP 对于这个 API 的注册提供了一个新的格式表格5F。那这个表格大家如果感兴趣的话，可以去 Google 搜索 DRAP。在医药注册这里有一个表格5F， 然后下载了以后，你可以看到其中要求着制剂的生产商提供了怎么样的一个文件要求那相对其他的要求，主要是第一个你必须有这个 SRA 国家的批准，首先，然后第二个呢进口的这些 API 呢必须要先验证相比邻国的价格水平，你的价格一定是要有竞争力的。那第三个呢就是一个比较严苛的要求了，就是原料药必须要从 GMP 工厂进口那同时呢 GMP 工厂需要提供一个 DMF 现在 DMF 的 open part 是一个强制性部分，要求原料药生产商提供的如果你没有的话，可能没有办法完成一个注册了。那第4个部分呢，就是你必须要完成所有的这些资料提供以后呢所有的这些文件的研究以后你才能够去完成这样的注册那可能像以前一样，你只做了一半的研究，或者你相关的研究不完善的话制剂的生产商，就是巴基斯坦客户这边是没有办法完成制剂的注册的第5个部分呢，就是这个主要是指的制剂产品。那进口制剂产品如果没有通过 FDA WHO 包括 EMA 还有一些英国、日本这些药监局的批准的情况下呢是需要进行着审计的，也就是设施检查。那第6个呢是现在 DRAP 是隶属于巴基斯坦卫生部了，也就是相对的所有的这些要求都会相对的更为严苛也会越来越严苛的。So please come to the first page of the inside. Yeah, this one, the first page. 这个部分呢，主要是讲的相关的一些基础知识了。那主要的一个是当地的一个生产企业的总数已经超过了750家，数量是非常非常多的但是前10名的公司中有9个公司是来自于卡拉奇的，也就是卡拉奇的医药的发展相对拉赫尔来说是更为发达的那第2个呢，就是大家可能比较关心的原料药当地的一个原料药的合成能力但是实际上呢，原料药生产厂家现在只有能力具备去合成一些基础的头孢菌素包括青霉素、普热西酮阿奇霉素奥美拉唑、艾索美拉唑之类产品那相对于更新的药物或者说有一定技术门槛的药物，当地是没有合成能力的如果当地的这些厂商要有合成能力的话，它可能需要一定的技术支持也就是 tech transfer那现在来说的话，原料药是没有受到当地的一个冲击的特别是新药Please come to the second page of insight. 这个部分主要是一些现在遇到的现状 主要是第一，如果你做过巴基斯坦生意的话，你可能知道当地对于这个 TT 预付是有一定的限制的。那这里给大家讲一下，那 TT 预付款最低必须要最高是1万美元，必须要低于1万美元。所以在这个预付上巴基斯坦是非常薄弱的那主要就是通过DP 然后 LC 这2个方式来成交那另外呢是有一个这里没有翻译，但是也可以给大家分享的地方。目前为止呢，大家如果有关注新闻的话，巴基斯坦当地的货币的贬值是非常厉害的目前为止，这个1美元已经等于200 PKR 了所以在这种情况下呢，进口的这个活动还是受到了一定的限制的那之后如果贬值的情况能稍微的被遏制的话，那还是会更多的是从这个以美元结算从中国和印度进口那下一个呢是这个大家所关心的中印的选择的问题。实际上现在是有65%的 API巴基斯坦是从印度进口的，那主要是因为价格更加的便宜同时也有 DMF 也包括杂质研究这一类的优势，印度还是做的比中国快很多的但是因为一些政治的原因以及中国这边有 FTA 免税的优势，也包括印度那边会征税在这些优势叠加的情况下呢有大量的制剂的厂商也希望把自己的原料药采购渠道从印度移到中国来当然还是要以成本考虑为先如果我们中国的 API 的成本要低于在这一系列优势的叠加之下，如果低于了印度的价格的话呢客户还是非常非常希望从中国进口的那这些就是全部的内容了谢谢大家OK sir, I just finished.
Share anything? Any question answers, please?
Okay. Thank you for Mr. Farham's sharing, and please wait a minute. We will come into the Q&A session. 好的，这边感谢我们的嘉宾的精彩分享。然后我们接下来将针对评论区观众提出的问题来进行一些解答。首先我们这边发现，评论区有一位叫汤建明的观众有提问过这个数据货币单位的问题，我们这边来纠正一下，这边单位不是美金，是 PKR 是巴基斯坦卢比。好的，我们这边收到的另一个问题是，食品补充剂价格在巴基斯坦不受监管，那么一些维生素类的算到医药还是补充剂？So Mr. Farham.The first question is the prices of food supplements not regulated in Pakistan, and are some vitamins considered drug or supplements?
Okay. Actually, some vitamins are considered as you can say. Actually, what they have done, they have set some RDA, which is called as recommended daily allowances. So, for example, if anything is going above than that, then it would be considered as a drug. And if anything is under RDA, which is recommended daily allowance set by US FDA, Europe, or any reference country which they benchmark, so that if that is under RDA, that will becomes as a supplement. If that goes above RDA, that will be considered as drug.
Okay, Taron.
好 这个问题呢，主要是当地也是去跟随了 US FDA 的一个脚步它有一个标准，大家有兴趣的话可以去 FDA 查看一下。那高于 RDA 的话呢，它会被认定为是一个 supplement但是如果低于 RDA 的话，它会被认为是 drug那相对来说，如果是被认定是 drug 的话呢你就要有 GMP 你就要有 DMF 这些一系列对于原料药的要求的这个监管。那如果你被认定是 supplement 的话呢，相关监管就要松一些，你可能不需要提供 GMP， 也不需要提供一系列的技术文件。OK, that's all.
好的，我们这边收到的第二个问题是有位观众问 SRA 是什么意思？And Mr. Farhan, can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Farhan. Okay, the second question is what does SRA mean?
这个问题我直接来回答一下吧。我也同时在评论区中打出了答案，因为大家可能 听英文的话可能没有办法理解得到啊。这主要是指一个严管的监管机构stringent regulatory authority。那主要的这个定义呢是来自于 WHO 的一个标准，大家可以就这个英文去查一下 WHO 的这个标准也就是它建立了一个独立的审批体系认可发达部门、药监局批准的药品。那 WHO 将这些部门称为 SRA 大家可以去查一下名单这样可能更清晰一些。
好的，这边我们能看到，第3个问题是，从中国采购 API 的比例大概能占到多少成？就是 What is the approximate percentage of API sourcing from China？这边我们 Taron 可以直接回他们，因为巴海这边可能网络有些问题。
这个其实刚才有提到过，从印度进口的 API 大概是65%，那从中国就是35%。那之后预计比例会倒过来，因为现在可能有一些政治环境的问题还有一些进口税还有一些免税政策包括中巴的合作上的一些问题所以目前35%是来自于中国那之后比例会大大的增加。
好的，我们这边看一下，这边评论区大家如果还有什么关于巴基斯坦医药市场的问题，可以随时在评论上打出。
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Another question come? Did he satisfied with the first answer?
Yes, Taron has already answered the question. Yeah. 如果这边大家没有什么其他的问题的话，是的，我们这边有一些其他问题的话，我们尽快在评论区打出。我们 Farham 这边可能因为一些时差的原因，有一些时间限制，大家抓紧时间可以在评论区问一下问题。好的，如果是说大家没有问题的话，我们线下也可以联系我们的工作人员进行回答。那么今天感谢 Mr. Farham 的解答，也希望通过本次的分享和答疑环节，大家能够对巴基斯坦医药市场有所了解，然后包括我们助力市场的开发。那么由于时间和这个时差的原因，咱们的问答环节暂告一段落。And Mr. Farham, thank you for your presentation today. Wish you good luck and maybe see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Sorry, Mr. Farham. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
We found still have new question.
Okay, please.
Okay, just wait a minute.这边有一个问题是 bank contract at site 这个付款方式是否常见？Mr. Farham, the question is bank contract at site a common payment method?
Is bank contract a site? Can you please repeat the question?
Is bank contract at site? This is a payment method. He's asking,
Yes.
Is this a common payment method?
Yes, bank contract at site is a common payment method here. Actually, companies work in different methods like LC at site, LC 60 days, LC 90 days. Some work on bank contract at site. Come work on bank contract for maybe 30 days like that. So yes, bank contract at site is another common practice, but the safest one is LC.
Okay. And Taron?
这个问题我稍微多说一下，就是它那个 bank contract 呢，其实跟咱们这边的 DP 是一样的，中国把它称之为 DP， 也就是付款交单。那其实它是一样的支付方式。那大家可能如果你跟客户有这个成交了合同以后呢，他会给你发一个 bank contract， 就是银行单据。那上面会有一些货物的信息，会有一些单据的要求。那你拿到了这个单据呢以后，你就可以通过你的银行去交单了。 所以它跟咱们这边所定义的 DP at site 是一样的支付方式。
Okay, thank you for your answering, Farhan. There is still a question. 问题是这个巴基斯坦的外贸是否能做预付款？And the question is, can you do advance payment Pakistani trade? Advance payment.
Yes, advance payment can be done, but advance payment amount should not be more than $10,000. If amount exceeds $10,000, then State Bank of Pakistan hold that transaction, and they ask for many documentation, so that wastes lot of time, maybe 2 months time, 3 months time, and even after that it is not guaranteed that that advance payment will be cleared. So advance payment for less than $10,000 even they need a documentation, but that case moves on, that get approval. But before more than 10,000 it is not acceptable actually.
所以 TT 这边其实刚才在 PPT 中也有讲它有一个上限，主要是$10,000。那如果超过$10,000的话呢，客户确实是因为政府的限制没有办法付款。但是低于$10,000的话呢，可以跟客户沟通一下他们可能如果外汇储备足够的话，他们可能能给你进行一定的DT预付但是我们要说的是，这个支付方式在市场上确实是不常见主要是通过 DP 还有 LC 的方式成交。
Okay, thank you. 这边还有一个问题是问的巴基斯坦的进口原料必须要有 GMP copy 吗？针对现在中国 GMP 要取消，是有什么其他的选择？Farhan, the question is it necessary to have GMP copy for imported APIs in Pakistan? And for now, China GMP to cancel. Is there any other choice?
Yes. See, there is a process for that. In Pakistan, DRAP, Drug Regulatory Authority, people know very well that it's been 5 years now, 4 or 5 years now, that that Chinese government was holding the GMPs and not issuing the new GMPs, and everyone knows in Pakistan that if GMP is not available, what should be the second option in that? Actually, they need manufacturing license, a valid manufacturing license. And if that manufacturing license translated version attested from Chinese or Pakistani embassy in the respective region, that manufacturing license is acceptable, number one. And a provincial GMP which must be approved from any provincial authority from where the manufacturing facility is located is acceptable. Everyone knows here that the original GMP which was earlier issued by CFDA is no more applicable in China. But manufacturing license is mandatory.
这个问题呢，就是中国的 GMP 已经取消这个事儿，也渐渐的巴基斯坦当地接受了那主要可能是要通过另外2个资质来实现这个替换 GMP， 一个是 DML， 就是 Drug Manufacturing License。你可能需要在这个承认的国家和区域，就是你的场地所在的这个区域有一个这个药物的生产许可。那你有这个生产许可的话，这个是必须的也可以。那第二个就是一个你工厂所在地有一个省级的这个GMP 的审计或者是一些医药协会出示的 GMP 在目前也是可以接受的。那同时第三个，其实现在渐渐的也开始接受起来那些线上的记录包括那个 CDE 上的记录同时也包括省级审计完了以后的线上的一些记录这些都是可以接受的，但是只是看客户因为现在还是在磨合的过程。
One more thing I want to add here, Taron here, that right now what ministry people do, because there are 2 persons in ministry who understand Chinese very well. So what they do, whenever any company submit their GMP, they verify that GMP from CDE website. So please tell this as well.
刚说的这个就是 CDE 的问题那就是DRAP 包括现在工厂里有特别的人员，其实是有很多人员是懂中文的他们现在要做的呢，也是在收到了一些证件以后，他们会上 CDE 网站上进行求证。那如果你在 CDE 网站上有记录的话呢 他们就会认为你提交的这些文件还是比较可靠的。那如果你在 CDE 网站上找不到你的工厂，找不到你的场地的话呢，那这个事情就要可能要被一些质疑了，可能要提出更多的问题来审核你的资质了。Okay, I just finished.
Okay, that's all the question we found. And thank you so much today for your sharing and answering, Farhan. So maybe see you next time. Yes, thank you.
Hopefully. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. 那么我们本次的问答环节就暂告一段落。如果大家有其他的问题，可以线下与我们联系。这里的话为大家预告一下我们的下周课程，也就是我们的第3讲，在6月9日下周4的ECHEMI外贸商学院，我们是将迎来埃及化工的市场简谈。那么更多内容敬请锁定ECHEMI官方微信及微信视频号。下周四我们同一时间再见。